All right, I'm going to give you the introduction. The next speaker is Marco Tempest. Some of you that are loyal to OpenSlava and have been there a few years probably have seen him also with the drones. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before, but I still remember that there were more cameras up during the presentation than at a Beyonce concert, which was really cool. And Marco Tempest, for the people that know him, he's the Accenture lead consultant for extended reality. He's a creative technologist for NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory and Director's Fellow at MIT Media Lab. And he's working on everything advanced technology. And the cool thing is he is constantly checking, like, how do we interact with that advanced technology and how can we bring it to life? Maybe to get like a sneak peek of the future or actually bring it to the future. That is what he does on a daily basis. And he calls it immersive experiences, which I think is a really beautiful word. And to wrap up, what he's going to talk about is what he's going to show. I think is one of the best slogans, inventing the impossible. So again, the digital collapse can come. Marco, if you're ready, take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, Marco Tempest.
Thank you very much for the gracious introduction. Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be back at OpenSlava. I brought a few things. I want to talk a little bit about what we are doing at the Extended Reality Studio in Zurich, Switzerland at Accenture. I'm going to shrink myself down a little bit here and talk a little bit about what we have been doing for the last 3 years or so. So we're going to start in the past, we're going to come to the present, and then I'm going to take you about a year into the future. So we've been working on immersive collaboration platform with extended reality for quite a while. What you're seeing here is a prototype system where a group of people can interact with Vive headsets and also with iPads to do immersive collaboration. We took this system then on the road for 250 people. And we see here Yves Bernard, which was just talking before me 2 sessions ago. He's presenting inside virtual reality for 250 of our leaders in something I would call a mass hallucinations, a very exciting project. And this was actually the jumping off point for what I'm talking about today, which is called the Accenture Immersive Collaboration Platform, Accenture ICP. The platform runs on Oculus Quest devices, mobile headsets, VR headsets, which are super inexpensive. They cost about €300. It also runs on iPads, on Mac PCs, on desktops, on pretty much any platform you can imagine. And we use this platform internally at Accenture while we are stuck at home doing telework to meet with our clients in our flagship locations. So we invite our clients to our labs, studios, innovation hubs, and show them virtual workshops. We have small auditoriums. We have like spaces like the space above me, which we're going to visit in just a moment, where we can interact with our client and collaborate. Very, very exciting solution. And I don't want to talk too much about it. I'm going to actually show you how this thing looks like in action. So I'm going to switch over. And what you're going to be seeing right now is the desktop experience. And I'm going to have Marnik and Carmen is in Zurich. Are going to join me in the experience in just a moment. I start the experience by creating a meeting. So let's call this OpenSlava. And the first thing I do is I just select one of these locations. These are Accenture locations. I'm going to go to Zurich like this. And in a split second, I'm teleported into Zurich, Switzerland. Let me move myself over here. And what you're seeing here is not a photo. This is actually an active virtual experience. So I can move around in here. The furniture is functional, so I can, for example, click on this screen, select the slide deck, and present the slide deck to my clients if I wanted to. Here's a photo with the team at work, and if I move backwards through the space, we see kind of the fidelity of the space. Oh, I see somebody is joining us, and I think let's see who that is. Let me mute my microphone in here. And maybe Carmen, you want to mute your PC? That would be great.
On this screen,
or I mute your microphone.
And present the slide deck to my clients if I wanted to. Here's a photo with the team at work.
Let me quickly mute Carmen. That's perfect. All right. So we have Carmen here. She's wearing a virtual reality headset, so she can wave to me. Hello, Carmen. I can wave back at her. She's actually on a desktop, and I can tell that by seeing this icon above her head. And here is Marnik. Hey, Marnik, how are you doing? Hello, want to give me a wave? Okay, I'm going to give you a thumbs up. You can just use your hands, wave at me. Perfect. We have multiple cameras we can turn on, so there are different views of the room. One unique feature of ICP is that we have teleportation. So, Marnik, if you don't mind, I'm going to take you somewhere else. I'm going to take you to our headquarters in San Francisco. We're going to travel together, Carmen, Marnik, and myself, to the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco, another virtual locations of ours. And so we're here, we have beautiful vistas outside, we can look outside. And of course, our two meeting participants have joined us magically here, which is fantastic. Marnik, can you hear me? Can you hear me from inside the experience? Marnik? I think you can just talk. Okay, we can't hear him, but never mind, we're going to change around and just take him along. I'd like to show you one of our labs, which is in the south of France, in Sophia Antipolis. We're going to be in the south of France, and here we do our client workshops. So here are functional demos. For example, we have this Pepper robot here, and if I get close to it, it wakes up.
Hello, I am Pepper. Welcome to our virtual lab. Here you can experience what the future could look like through a variety of demonstrations and applied use cases.
And I want to show you one more demo, which is actually how we create these spaces. And we do this with this device, which is sitting right here. This is a Matterport camera. If I turn this on, it's typically used for creating real estate listings. What I'm using it for here is to create a scan of a client location. We then use this scan, which is a sparse point cloud, and convert that into a mesh. We can also extract the RGB data, the color information from this camera, and this gives us an incredibly good starting point to create these virtual environments, which you see here raw and then in the polished form. This kind of environment, like the one we're in here right now, can be created by 2 people in less than 2 weeks. So it's a super fast workflow for creating these spaces. Let me take you to 2 more locations. One is an outside location. It's an imaginary location. We're here in the Swiss Alps, enjoying a design thinking workshop. So the way this works is we have a design wall here, and if I turn around, by the way, we have Marnik there and Carmen, they're still with us. We have pods here. We have 4 pods for 12 people each. People can join in these pods and do a design thinking session. And the way this works is they can put post-it notes on the wall and then meet and kind of collaborate and do this accelerated way of doing design thinking. If I want to start the process here in the world, I just set a timer. Let's say we would do 5 minutes. I started, and now we can join in this pot. So maybe we can all join in the yellow pot really quick. As soon as I join the yellow pot, I'm going to become yellow. And as the team members join, maybe they're following us here. Hey guys, you want to join us here? They become the yellow team, and now we can just start putting post-it notes on the wall. So I could say hello, and I do this from my desktop, and Carmen is putting notes as well. And so you can imagine, like with 48 people here, it's quite an experience when you're in this world. I'm gonna show you one last location before we step out of here. And this is a location which we use for evening events. So we can host small events, small plenaries with people. And what we found is that in this time of crisis, people really miss standing together like this, being overheard, having non-moderated conversations, kind of breaking the frame of a Skype meeting or a WebEx or a Teams call. And this is just a wonderful place to meet, have conversations. And then as we end the evening, we bring in our cameraman. So I'm gonna bring in our very special cameraman, which is a drone. So we can wave at the drone and do a little droney together. So let's wave at the camera. Hello, and here we have our droney, and if we turn around, we can watch the beautiful fireworks outside and enjoy the fireworks music. So thank you guys for joining me for this quick demo. This was really fun. Thank you very much. Let's give him a last wave, and I'm gonna step out of this meeting. All right, so thank you very much for giving me a chance to present this to you today. I would like to show you a little bit more, and I think we have some more time on where we're going with this as the year progresses. So currently we're using this internally at Accenture for client visits, for virtual tours and so on, but we're also planning to do a lot more in ICP. And one thing we discovered that our clients are really interested in is not only immersive collaboration, but also immersive learning and self-guided learning. And what's required for that is somebody to teach you. And so we created an array of different hosts, which can be your teachers inside virtual reality. So here is a little gallery of how that might look like.
I'm Ace. I am the AI robotic host of this incredible place. Let me show you all the different technologies we use to create virtual characters and 3D content. Click on the play buttons on the exhibits to see our creations come to life.
And here we have the first content
Hello
type.
everyone. Can you tell that I'm just a 2D video? I'm captured on a green screen background and placed inside this 3D virtual world.
Thank you, Carmen. So super easy to create. You hang up a green screen, take a camera. An hour later, you have your characters inside virtual reality. A really phenomenal way to create content quickly, inexpensively, with a very rapid pipeline. So here we have Andy from our team and virtual Andy. And there's virtual me. And that brings me to the next topic, which is virtual humans. And Andy can take it away from here. Hey, Andy.
I'm a fully animated 3D digital human, and I can interact with the world.
So virtual humans, a really big topic. Here we see one of our managing directors, Adan Plaza, at a client event in Paris. He's interacting with a hologram of himself on stage. Here we see him at his studio, in the Madrid Liquid studio, and many of him. And these avatars can be connected to microservices, to chatbots. They can facilitate learning. The way we create them is we create them at our studio. Here we see Sebastian and Carmen doing a motion capture session, creating the movements, which then will be mapped onto these virtual characters. I have two more content types. I want to quickly rush through them so we can go to a little bit into the future. So the next thing I want to show you is a VR 180 video, which you might know from YouTube. It's a great way to create media when you don't want to create the environments and just like capture them and put them into virtual reality. And here we have a content example of how that might look like on a desktop. Hello everyone. You are now experiencing VR 180 stereoscopic video.
A special VR 180 camera is used to create this type of content. Production is fast and does not require any costly 3D content creation.
It's the perfect way to bring your audience into the action wherever they might be.
So I hope this wasn't too geeky for you. If it was, it's gonna get even geekier now. The last content type I would like to show you is really a glimpse into the future. How would we be able to make 3D avatars that look like humans without any cameras, without any actors, by simply uploading a script? And I'm gonna have the technology explained by the technology itself. So this is how that looks like.
Hello. I'm a synthetic AI presenter.
I can professionally present your script, and I can speak and translate it into many different languages. You simply provide text and receive your processed video within minutes.
Imagine being able to create video content at scale with a synthetic presenter that looks exactly like you, with the flexibility of changing the content anytime, with consistent quality. Synthetic media can be used in broadcast, on websites,
and in extended reality applications.
So, that's where we are currently. I want to give a little glimpse into the future of how we think about extended reality and what might be some of the things which are next on the horizon. So I want to start with robots and extended reality, which is a super interesting topic. I think there's going to be a democratization of the robotic space, especially when it comes to quadrupeds, very similar to what we have seen with drones. Prices come down and the software just got better and better and better. This allows us to use quadrupeds in many new locations and in many new scenarios and use cases. And extended reality is just a perfect way to do the future concepts of operation and also the simulation of these kind of solutions with our clients before we actually have to purchase the expensive hardware. And if you extend this paradigm to full factory floors, and you could think of factory floors as robots, then you could control and remote control full factories floor in a kind of a command and control room of a future type situation. Another area of democratization in robotics where XR can play a great role are robotic arms, compliant robotic arms. These are robotic arms which cannot hurt humans, which can be very close to humans, like cobots. They have sensors in them which will avoid collisions or detect collisions. And what we're trying to do with these is we're trying to integrate them with extended reality systems to create systems where you can actually interact with data and feel the data as you're interacting with it. Data made tangible in a way. And I want to show you a quick clip of a sandbox, the strawman setup we created in ICP, which gives you an idea of how that might play out with a user and a robot and the experience he might have. And so let's start that. And I have to say, these are early prototypes you're seeing right now. Here we see the view of the user. He's interacting with data, and outside in the real world, the robot provides the touch surfaces and the haptic feedback for the user as he's manipulating the data sets. Here we have a data set with real-time transactional data. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed the little journey through what my team and myself are doing at the Extended Reality Studio in Zurich, Switzerland for Accenture. And I think we're going to open it up right now for questions, comments, suggestions, and see what comes back from the crowd, so to speak. So let's have a little conversation.
All right. Thank you, Marco. Thank you very much. If I have to sum up what's happening in the chat right now, I don't know if you can see it, but it's whoa is how people are summing it up. It's whoa, it's amazing, it's the best. You have more clapping hands than anything. So I can give you a printout.
Oh, that's terrific. I'm super happy that I had a chance to present this here to you guys. I thought, I guess you might like it as much as I do. You can tell we're super excited at what we are doing at Accenture in this space. We have about 300 experts globally who are doing XR. There are many, many locations. There's a whole hive of locations where ICP is used with our clients as accelerators. And it's just such an exciting technology. And I must say there's also there's an acceleration in this space because we are stuck at home, right? And because we miss the physical spaces and each other, and we want to have different ways to meet than just in these little video boxes. So there's a little bit of a blessing in the curse of this situation we're currently in, that this technology just has a rapid development and a big push into the market.
Yeah, I think that's indeed, it's going rapidly. And you say, like, you're excited, the crowd is excited. So if I can ask you, what kind of emerging technologies are you most excited about?
I think I'm excited on various fronts. One front is that they get inexpensive right now. So the Quest 2 was just released, like $299 for a really high performance, super sleek virtual reality device. In the AR devices, like the HoloLens 2, it's like the performance of that device is just so amazing. So there are really good devices right now which we can use to play with. The other thing I'm excited about is that these devices have kind of intelligence on the edge. They have on-device intelligence, which goes beyond just reasoning about the environment you're in. The devices also reason about the user. So you wear a HoloLens. The HoloLens knows exactly what you're looking at. It knows when you're blinking. It could reason about if you're tired, if you have overlooked something. If we create a virtual reality learning experience, we can create learning journeys where the system will know if you have paid attention, or if you did, if you have the dexterity to do a task in the virtual world where you're safe before you go into the real world. So this trend of having devices which have machine learning, which are intelligent, which can reason about the user and about the environment, that's very exciting. And then, who doesn't love robots, right? So I'm excited about this kind of natural conversions of robots. You could imagine that in not too far from now, we could do a whole life cycle of a robot inside virtual reality, right? We can design the robot, we can simulate the robot, we can put the parts together. The whole production cycle can happen in virtual reality before we build the robot. And then the concepts of operation, the dashboards, the user experience, and then the operations in the real world, everything could be mediated with extended reality in the loop. So very, very exciting. Lots of cost savings and lots of magic dust all over that segment, I would say.
Very nice of it. Let me check real quick in the chat. You just tell me, like I said, I'm just going to read it. You just tell me if you can answer. Of the people are asking, after the room scan, what software do you use to tune it, finish the modeling, furnish it? I don't know if that makes any sense, the question.
Right. So we have a kind of a playbook for that. Like our team is using Maya and Blender. So there's a free and there's a more costly solution. It's in virtual reality, a lot is optimizing for performance, so you future-proof your assets. So they're gonna work on mobile devices, they're gonna work on phones, they're gonna work on standard issues laptops. So what you've seen in the demo, that runs on an Accenture laptop. It doesn't need a gaming computer, right? So the optimization is really the secret sauce in the production pipeline. So we do the scan, and the scan, for one thing, gives a really good baseline for the people who have to create the geometry, so they know the dimensions and where things are. But then they can also go on the Matterport side and look at the photospheres, which we capture at the same time, and really look at details to figure out how their material sheets, texture sheets should be designed, how they should use the resources available on these devices.
All right, cool. I'm just filtering through what is coming in. People are wondering, if you like the presentation you just give, if you look at the remote world, how people are going to interact at conferences, what you showed here, they're asking what equipment do you need to give such a presentation like you give right now? Is it something that...
Okay, so the presentation I just gave I gave in a software called MMHMM. Yeah, It's in early beta. But if you go to their website, you can just sign up and you can, for the time being, use it for free. It's really fun. You can shrink yourself and, change the virtual backgrounds you can put yourself in different rooms like this. So it's really terrific, and it's super easy to use. It's kind of a little piece of middleware between your conferencing system and all the media you have on your desktop.
Okay, and now maybe a bit more serious question is just because we also discussed it in the panel. If you've seen it, that what role can all this emerging technology, the ones you showed or what you're working on, what can it play in, because it's the reality right now, what can it play in the current pandemic of post-pandemic? What can it do?
So two things come to mind immediately. One is, we have this spaces which we miss, and we have yet to realize what the impact is if we are no longer able to go into the spaces. I have a certain feeling when I go into my studio in Zurich. It's this, but there's a symbolic value to this space and the feeling, and I no longer have that. But maybe virtual reality can bridge that gap a little bit. It can bring us to these spaces where we can be synchronous or asynchronous, like the places are persistent. So if you put your signature on the wall, the signature will still be there the next time you come. You move furniture around, the furniture is still in the same place. So in that respect, it's a fantastic way to go back to the places we miss. And the other thing which is great is it has to do with managing attention, right? We're so used to Teams meetings right now, or WebEx, or whatever, Zoom, whatever platform you use. And to have something, an activity you can do, even if you just do it for 20 minutes, you're not going to wear a virtual reality headset for a full day. But even if it's for 20 minutes, if you can go to a place, stand around a few tables, have a fun conversation, do a drone selfie, I think the value of this is absolutely priceless. So when we talk about managing attention, making sure people are not going to go to the refrigerator and starting to eat something while the conference is going on, for that this is just wonderful, wonderful. And meanwhile, we explore new use cases and opportunities, because virtual reality is kind of a tool where once you start using it, no matter if it's a desktop modality or with a headset, you will get inspired. You're going to have ideas what else you want to do with it. And that's also the other really great thing when we talk about co-creation with our clients. We get them into these spaces. They initially have a few spaces. They use slideshows and videos. And then, within an hour, they're like, if we could only do this. And then we're like, yes, let us build that for you.
Nice. And you definitely kept the attention if I look at what people are still saying. Maybe a last one. I also asked it, I think, during the panel or other speaker, because I think it's a really important one. And if I look at the audience of Open Slava, also so many young people that I remember also from the physical events, they're coming up in technology. Some are very, very tech background. Others are more into the business. Looking at you and seeing them presenting like this, being involved in all those developments, what advice would you give to the audience here today if they're in the technology for their future? What is your...
I think what worked for myself, and I have been very fortunate, I have to say, is that a sense of compass versus destination. What I mean by that is, instead of having that one job in mind or that one thing you want to feel accomplished, to have like an array of things you're good at and you're passionate about, and go into that direction. And and opportunities will present themselves to you much better if you're not too focused on just one thing, because all the serendipitous thing which might happen around you will be blind to if you're just too focused on just one goal. So I would say stay within the area of things you're good at, like the ones which feel right, and go in that general direction and see where it takes you. There are a lot of companies, and Accenture is one of them, which are looking for talent. I think what we are looking for is people who are super passionate about what they're doing. I think that it's on the soft skill sides where the interest is, like to learn a specific new language or to learn a specific new tool. You can always do that, and we can help you with that on the job. But that enthusiasm and that hunger for learning new things, that's a great thing to bring along.
Nice.
For any career.
I think that's a beautiful wrap up, because I think that's Open Slava in general here. People who are passionate about the future, about technology, bring it all together in this case, the 3 days. And I think you showed that definitely in your presentation. If I'm looking away from you, like I said with the other speakers, not interested, I'm looking at my chat here. So coming in, that people are saying very inspiring. So it's amazing. I think you inspired a lot of people to check those, invent the impossible, and check those boundaries. So Marco, if anything you still want to add, then we'll wrap it up here.
That's it. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a great presentation.
Thank you.
And we're going to get emoji claps for Marco Tempest. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, day, wherever you are in the world. Okay, cool. That already brings us to the last speaker and the first half day of Open Slava. I'm looking at myself and seeing a lot of hands moves in front of the screen. Thank you for the commenting. Thank you for being so enthusiastic about Marco Tempest and my little performance in the virtual reality world, or the extended reality world. I'm seeing a lot of claps coming in. So Marco, if you're still seeing or hearing this, a lot of enthusiasm. Thank you for sticking around. Also for people that came from the expo. If I'm looking at the numbers, still a lot of people in here. And for Europe, it's becoming the evening. So this was the first half day. We talked a lot of future. What is possible? What are the trends? What are the opportunities, the threats? How can technology solve it? The human aspect. We had the panel discussions. I hope you had a lot of fun in the tech demos. Of course, I cannot say what happened there. You probably know more. We had the digitalization story from Siemens, and we ended with extended reality and inventing the impossible with Marco. Tomorrow is a new day, Thursday. I hope to see all the I would say familiar faces, but familiar names. And Puya, if you come back, I will remember. Come back tomorrow. It will be a more tech day, which is great. Like I said in the beginning, if you missed my opening for Open Slava, I don't have a tech background. But I do have the business digital background. And if you're into business and like, ooh, tech is really not my thing, join anyway, because you will love it. You might not understand everything like me, but it will help you so much in seeing what is possible, how to develop and better communicate with the other technical departments. And if, of course, you have a technical background, only mentioning Josh Long, like we said in the beginning, we'll have great presentations, great insights on that part. So I hope to see you all. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe I should ask real quick in the chat, what number are you at? Not to me, but in Open Slava in general. Are you still as pumped, or are you ready for dinner to close the night? I hope to see you tomorrow. Like I said, Josh Long, we have competitions. We're gonna give away some cool stuff. We have some video surprises and just a lot of great content. I will be there tomorrow. So I'm looking at the chat, what's going on. Great presentation, super enthusiastic speaker. All right. I'm checking, like always, my backstage, if I still have to mention anything. Not really. So I want to thank you for the people coming to back. See you tomorrow. If not, have a great evening, have a great morning, a great afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It was an honor this first day to be your host. And that's it. Have a good night. This was Open Slava Day 1. See you all tomorrow.